Good day, friends. Today we're staying in the garage. A little cloudy, gloomy, misty, etc. outside. A little cold. So time to throw a new battery in this sickle. We're going to show you. We're going to watch closely. We're going to pull this off, put the new battery in, take the new battery out. We'll probably do it in the other way around would make more sense. Regardless, we'll freshen her up and see what happens. First step, take off the seat. Remove the main fuse. To do so, we gotta take off the saddlebag. Never a bad idea to cover your paint. Pop the side cover off. Be careful not to scratch the paint. Main fuse is right here. A good tug. We've now protected the ECM and everything else from danger in case we move some cables that we shouldn't move. Oh no! In order to remove the main fuse, you must first disarm the security system. And that, friends, is why you read the manual. To do so, with key fob present, turn the ignition on. Now we can remove the main fuse. Fuse removal, take 2. Now we'll start moving some cables. Slide some stuff over here. There's our ECM, which is already unsnapped from the caddy. Not good. ECM safely moved out of the way. The battery is located under the tray here. 2 Torx fasteners there. You see we have 462 wires, cables, zip ties, etc. to move prior to removing those bolts. These fabulous connectors here have got to be one of Harley's greatest inventions. But if we take a little screwdriver, slide it underneath just right, without breaking the plastic. Somebody went to college for a long time to figure out how to make these suckers. And with just the right amount of pressure, slides off like it was meant to. One more. 2 tie wraps. Now we're getting closer. Oh, look at that. Like a professional. Careful not to set aside parts that you may need later. Okay, our tray is starting to become exposed. Perhaps this little gem here. Probably going to get in the way. Let's get after these Torx fasteners and see what happens. T40, a winner. Alright, now we've got those out. Somewhere underneath here is going to be a battery. There's a funky looking tab in there. You got to kind of push up like that, get around it. Ta-da! Lo and behold, a battery. Well, this little guy will prevent us from removing the caddy. Bend down tab and slide her off. And there, friends, is the battery, upper tray, caddy / piece of Harley plastic. There's the battery. We have 2 posts, Phillips screws. Pay very close attention to the negative and the positive marks. You do not want to get those backwards. Harley's kind enough to provide us with this little strap once we have our cables removed. Our battery come right out. And voila! Over here we've had our new Yuasa GYZ series. 500 CCA, 32 amp hour. I think the stock battery is 4-ish, maybe even 3 something. Big difference in cranking. I'll put a link down below to order one of these babies on Amazon. Now when we load our new one in there, of course we want to make sure the stitch strap is present for next time. We want to remember the positive and negative and orient the battery in such a way that our cables will attach. Wrong, right. Now screw the terminals back on. We're going to use the new fasteners which were provided with the battery. Same Phillips screws with some lock washers. Here we go. Ground terminal first. Tight but not stripped. Next we have the positive terminal. Because we've removed the main fuse and disalarmed the security system, there should be no arcing. Snug. Now it's a case of putting Humpty Dumpty back together again, starting with the battery tray. One interesting thing of note is it happens to say Road King right on this tray. I guess they're sharing parts. Okay. You could probably go push the rewind button on YouTube and watch this in reverse and put it all back together. Me, on the other hand, I gotta struggle. So our fastener side obviously goes back there. This little nugget snaps in there. Now there's a little metal tab right there that goes up into here. This little metal tab right there. Okay, everything's plugged in there. Let's do these lovely sliding connectors. Click. If you're following along, they're much easier to put back on than take off. Torx bolts. Now if I was smart, I'd probably get a rag and clean everything in here while it's all opened up and the seat's off and the battery's off, etc. But I know you all have more important things to be doing, like watching people riding the Sturgis or the bar or something. So we'll skip that. Don't over torque these ones, because in another 2 years you'll be taking them back off. Bam. This little chingus, which I believe is part of our security system. And we'll slide that baby back into place until she snaps. ECU. Little feet right there. Little tabs in the top of the tray, right like that. We simply snap her down. Imagine this little gem ain't cheap, so you want to treat it right. Firmly snapped into place. There is our DynoJet Power Commander 5. I think we all know what those are. Don't tell our friends at the EPA. Lastly, this is the cabling for our tour pack, which currently is over there on the shelf. It coils up neatly under the seat. Now you notice our 2 tie wraps that we cut off. Perhaps we should deal with them. Now you could go to your Harley dealer and get certified Harley tie wraps for $42, or your local drugstore has them for 29 cents. Okay, so we got our cables nice and where they're supposed to be. The tie wrap through here. Nice and snug. Bada bing, bada bang. Now when you cut these with the improper tool, like I'm doing right now, they can end up being quite jagged. So if you can get a better shot at it, great. Otherwise, be sure and fold the tie wrap to where the jagged part is not going to snag cables, or more importantly, fingers. Power commander in place. Curl up our tour pack cables, which rest nicely under the seat while we are in street glide mode. Seat back on. Seat bolt. Re-plug in our main fuse. Side cover back on, check. And a moment of truth test. Battery voltage looks good. And that, friends, is a wrap. That's how easy or lack thereof it is to change the battery. In Harley Touring model, this one happens to be an ultra limited FLHTK. So sorry for the rather boring video this time. The weather outside was a little less than desirable. Therefore, I thought it a good day for some maintenance. As always, I'd ask that if you like this, you subscribe, click the like button, share it with your friends, watch more videos, all that stuff. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.